I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the no-half-step in hockey coverage first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store, whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to us. 88 different items with our logo on it. We call them gimmicks, and we also like to say that we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on X and Threads, and why not TikTok for a little bit longer. Facebook, you can always find us there. There's lots of different social media platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today, and you'll probably find us. Give us a like, give us a subscription. It doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you a thing. It sure goes a long way to helping out this operation in the trenches. YouTube, of critical importance to this operation. That's where you'll find all of our newest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV. Also, all of our game previews, recaps, interviews, and analysis breakdowns, all right there on our YouTube channel. Just search Renegades of Puck on YouTube and go ahead and give us a subscription today. Stick taps, love, and respect to all who've given us subscriptions as of late, especially our good friend Carlos, good renegade out there in the Memphis area. We sure do appreciate you, my friend, for checking out all of the different videos on our YouTube channel. Again, stick taps, love, and respect to each of you. The audio podcast off to a tremendous start to 2024. Thanks to the Full Press NHL Network, the Full Press Predators podcast is being heard by more Renegades than ever, from local to global in the year 2023 and continuing that progression in 2024. We sure do appreciate everybody for checking us out, whether that's on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, all of those different podcast platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred podcast platform today, and you'll find the show. Again, stick taps, love, and respect to everybody at the Full Press NHL Network. Venmo is how you can support the show financially, and we sure could use it right now. We're building a brand new heating and HVAC system out here in the studio. We've never actually had any way to control the temperature or the climate out here in our studio, so that has had a negative effect on the equipment over the first couple of years, and we had to learn that lesson the hard way, and it's having a negative effect on the host and the personnel of the show's health, because we are going from hot to cold and hot to cold, and the roller coaster ride has us all sounding pretty rough here in the beginnings of January of 2024. So if you can scan the QR code, if you can donate anything, we sure would appreciate it. Stick taps, love, and respect to each of you who has sent us a generous donation a long way. Now, listen, I know it's time for the No-Half-Step in hockey coverage, so let me get to the goods. Time for operation number 853. That's right, time for show number 853. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division. They have played half the games on their schedule. That means 41. They have a record of 22, 18, and 1. 45 points has them 13 points shy of the first place Winnipeg Jets, 8 points shy of the third place Dallas Stars, which will be the Nashville Predators' next opponent. We'll get into that coming up as soon as we wrap up the Central Division update. The Preds' next game is taking place on the road. They have a record of 10-7-1. The Dallas Stars are 13-7-2 on home ice. The Preds have scored 129 goals in the season. They've given up 130. That means they have a goal differential of -1. The Dallas Stars have scored 149 goals in the season. They've only given up 122 on the season. Now, Central Division updated standings. The Winnipeg Jets have been one of the most red-hot teams in the entirety of the NHL through 40 games skated. Now they're 27-9-4. They have 58 points, and they are just absolutely red hot as of late. They have a 1-point lead over the Colorado Avalanche, but they've skated in 2 fewer games. They are in the third place. Dallas Stars have a record of 24-11-5. That's the Nashville Predators' next opponent. They have 53 points. And then it's the Preds with 45 points in fourth place. The Arizona Coyotes in fifth place with 42 points. St. Louis only 1 point behind at 41 and sixth. Minnesota has 38 points in at seventh. Chicago in last place and eighth in the Central Division, with just 26 points on the season. Once the Preds wrap up this one-game road trip to Dallas, back home on Saturday to face off against the New York Islanders. So this Dallas game is the first night of back-to-backs. First on the road, second at home against the Islanders. Then Monday, the beginning of a 3-game West Coast road trip. Monday night in Vegas, the 18th in L.A., and the 20th in Arizona. Then back home on the 22nd of January to face off against the Florida Panthers. Now, this is the third of 4 regular season meetings between the Preds and the Stars. So let's talk about their previous meetings. Let's go back to December the 23rd when they met for the first time at Bridgestone Arena. It was Dallas scoring scoring a 3-2 victory in Nashville. Saros took the loss, going 31 out of 34. McCarron and Sissons picked up the goals for the Preds. Wedgwood picked up the win in net for Dallas, going 19 out of 21. Dadanoff, Smith, and Hakanpää scored the goals for the Dallas Stars. Hakanpää was the real dagger as the Dallas Stars were able to score 2 goals. In the final 13 seconds of the game, the Nashville Predators, seriously the worst couple of seconds they've had all season long, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in this one. They would meet again on the 6th of January. It would be the Predators coming away with the victory in Dallas, 4-3. It would be Lankinen getting the start and picking up the victory, 26 out of 29 for the win. Forsberg would have 2 goals and carry this team all the way through this game. Evangelista, a sweet goal. Nyquist also adds 1 in that game. Wedgwood, 18 out of 22, takes the loss in this one. Ben Robertson and Sagan scored for the Dallas Stars, the big names scoring for Dallas in that one. So the Preds are 1-1 against Dallas so far in the season. They've acquired 2 out of a possible 4 points. The score in the series through 2 games is 6-6, and each team has won on the road. They'll meet one more time this season. It'll take place on February the 15th. It will be when the Nashville Predators welcome Dallas in for the second time this season. So from 12:23 to 2:15, the entirety of the season series, all 4 games between the Preds and the Dallas Stars will be completed. That's a relatively short time frame over the course of the schedule of the season for the Preds to wrap up with a division opponent. The Stars' previous 5. Let's take a look at that before we get into the numbers, the rankings, the matchup. Go back to January the 2nd. It was a 4-3 loss versus Montreal. On the 4th of January, 5-4 overtime loss versus the Colorado Avalanche. And then on the 6th of January, 4-3 loss versus the Nashville Predators. Need a drink. After that, on January the 8th, it was a 4-0 win at Minnesota. And then on the 10th of January, a 7-2 win versus Minnesota again. Wedgwood picked up the victory, 21 out of 23 in that game. Taking a look inside the matchup, the NHL rankings and numbers for both of these teams. In the goals for category, Dallas, highly impressive. 3.68 goals per game is second best in the NHL, while the Nashville Predators, generating 3.10 on net per game, is 18th best in the NHL. Dallas gives up 3.03 per game. That's 14th best in the league. The Preds give up 3.17. That is 18th. In the shots for category, Preds lead in this metric. They're generating 30.6 shots on net per game. That's 16th best in the league. While the Dallas Stars are generating 30.4. That's 17th. In the shots against category, Dallas is ahead in this metric. 29.6 is 10th best in the NHL. 30.6 is what the Nashville Predators are giving up per game. That's 18th in the National Hockey League. When it comes to special teams, the Dallas Stars have a decided advantage in both of these statistical metrics. 23% is their power play conversion rate, 12th overall in the league, 26 out of 113 opportunities. The Preds converting at 20.9%. That's 17th on the season. On the PK, 85.2% is the kill rate for the Dallas Stars. It's 4th best in the National Hockey League. They've only given up 19 power play goals against the season, while the Preds kill rate, 76.7%, is 25th in the league. They have given up 31 power play goals against this season. When it comes to the individual statistics of the top 5 scorers for each of these teams, let's start with the visiting Nashville Predators first. Phil Forsberg, 21 goals, 24 assists for 45 total points. Ryan O'Reilly's at 15 and 20 for 35. Nyquist, 10 goals and 23 assists for 33 points. The captain, Romaniossi's at 8 goals and 24 assists for 32 points. Colton Sissons, 12 and 9 for 21. When it comes to the Dallas Stars, the home team in this one, and they typically, these list of players does quite good against the Nashville Predators. Robertson, 15 plus 26 for 41 points overall. Roope Hintz, 17 goals and 19 assists for 36 points. Joe Pavelski has killed the Predators his entire career. 16 goals and 20 assists on this season. He also never seems to age. 36 points overall on the season. Matt Duchene, first year in Dallas, is doing quite well. 12 goals, 24 assists for 36 points. And Tyler Seguin, 16 and 16 for 32. Anticipated goaltending matchup sees UC Saros getting an opportunity against the Dallas Stars for the second time this season. 16, 15, and 1 with an .899 save percentage, 3.09 goals against average with 2 shutouts. Those numbers, frankly, are not good enough, and we need to see some improvement on those. Wedgwood has already competed against the Nashville Predators twice this season, has a record of 1-1 against the Preds, a record on the season of 12-4-3, quite respectable. His numbers not so great, though. 895 save percentage, 3.11 goals against average, has done an admirable job filling in for Jake Ottinger. As a matter of fact, the Dallas Stars really haven't suffered in the standings at all if it wasn't for the Winnipeg Jets just taking off and not exactly leaving anybody behind in the 3-team weave, but the Winnipeg Jets taking off is what has led to the 5-point separation between Winnipeg and Dallas at this point. So that's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators at the Dallas Stars. 3rd of 4 regular season meetings. Again, 1-1 on the season. 2 out of 4 points acquired for the Preds. The score is 6-6 in the series, and they'll play one more time on the 15th of February. We'll be back with the Rebirth Sports full game recap right after this on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back January 9th, year 2024, when the Nashville Preds were facing off against the Anaheim Ducks for the second time this regular season. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Goryanov, Sissons, and Parson, Smith, Novak, and Evangelista, Tomasino, Sissons, and McCarron. Your defensive pairings are as follows: Yossi and Fabro, McDonough and Chen, Luzon and Carey. UC Saros gets the start on home ice. We are just 1 minute and 14 seconds in the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Radko Gudas, the first shot on goal of the game at the 132 mark. Dostal comes up with a save on Jeremy Luzon. Each team now has a shot on net in the first 2 minutes. At the 2:33 mark of the first period, UC Saros comes with a save on Carrick at 3:55 of the first. Dostal comes with a save on Carey at the 4:53 mark of the first period. UC Saros comes with a save on Lundstrom at 6:46 now. The first period, UC Saros comes with a save on the Toronto teams exchanging chances back and forth here early in the first period. At the 8:25 mark of the first period, we see Dostal coming with a save on Fabro. At the 9:04 mark of the first, we have our first penalty of the game in our first special teams scenario. Strome is off to the box for Anaheim 2 minutes for tripping on the captain, Roman Josi. An incredibly strong shift by the Predators. Good zone time and pressure led to a tired Anaheim defense, ending up taking a penalty. On the power play for the Nashville Predators, one good scoring chance. Dostal would stop Nyquist, but that would be it. Unfortunately for the Preds, as soon as the power play expires, Strome out of the box at 11-12 on a breakaway beats UC Saros for his fourth goal of the season, giving Anaheim a 1-0 lead here in the first period. Again, the Nashville Predators seem to have fallen victim to this several times as of late, but a breakaway out of the box, getting behind the Nashville Predators defenseman and scoring for Anaheim. 11:28 of the first period, it's Shen versus Carrick, 5 minutes each. Shen going to get the boys fired up by getting his face punched in a whole bunch. Let's see how that ends up working out. 12:39 of the first period, Saros comes with a save on Strome at the 14:01 mark. Saros comes with a save on Leeson all alone in front at 14-11 of the first period for Toronto. His 19th goal of the season. It's a deflection that goes off of McDonough's skate, and in the deflection itself was going to go well wide, but then went to hit McDonough's skate and found its way easily into the empty net to give Anaheim a 2-0 lead now here in the first period. At 16:06 of the first period, Dostal coming with a save on Glass's deflection. A good scrum after the whistle. The team starting to get after each other at the 17:21 mark. The first period is Forsberg with 2 minutes for cross-checking off to the box. That's when McTavish cashes in for the Anaheim Ducks with his 12th goal of the season. He goes with a sharp angle snipe off the top of the mask of UC Saros and in. Very little opportunity and open net right there, but he found it and banks it in off of the top of UC Saros' head. And net, Anaheim now leads 3-0. 19:08 of the first period. Dostal comes with a save on O'Reilly. 19:53. Dostal comes with a save on Fabro. We hit the end of the first period. Anaheim leads 3-0, and they're out shooting the Nashville Predators 14-11. We go 2:40 into the clean sheet without anything happening before Dostal comes with a save on Glass's one-timer off McCarron's feet. A really great setup by Michael McCarron right here, and a great early period scoring opportunity for the Preds. But just 25 seconds later, 3:05 in the second period, it's Terry cashing with his 10th goal of the season. The puck went in off of Fabro, off of the rush, giving the Anaheim Ducks a 4-0 lead in this game at the 3:11 mark of the second period. It's Dostal coming with a save on Goryanov. At 5:01 of the second period, UC Saros comes with a save on Terry. 6:25, Dostal comes with a save on Smith. 7:52, Saros a save on Strome at the 8:35 mark of the second period. It's UC Saros again coming out with another save on Strome at the 9:19 mark of the second period. It's Dostal coming with a save on Tomasino, plus the follow-up by Michael McCarron. This line generating another good scoring opportunity. At the 9:47 mark of the second period, it's Dostal coming with a save on Josi. The Preds are increasing the pressure, increasing their zone time, and Dostal is surviving. He's not thriving. He's giving up a lot of rebounds, but he is fighting the puck, and the Predators are getting plenty of good zone time, plenty of shots on net right here at the middle point of the game. 10:13 of the second period, it's Dostal coming with a save on Luke Evangelista at the 11:57 mark of the second period. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Strome at the 13:09 mark of the second period. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on McTavish at the 15:38 mark of the second period. It's UC Saros coming up with another save on McTavish. And for the Nashville Predators, if they've not been able to solve Dostal at this point in the period, it's going to be tough to make this big comeback at the 16:30 mark 16:39 mark of the second period. On the back sheet, we find McTavish for Anaheim off the box, 2 minutes for interference. So the Nashville Predators are going to get an opportunity to get some momentum going. They're going to generate some good shots on goal right here. Dostal's going to come with a save on Forsberg and then come out with another save on the captain, Roman Josi, and one more save on the long shot by Ryan McDonough. After the power play expires, we go to 5-on-5 hockey, and things remain relatively quiet until the end of the period. 4-0 now in favor of the Anaheim Ducks, and the Nashville Predators are out shooting Anaheim 25-21. We flip over to the third period. We've got a clean sheet of ice, and 13 seconds in on that clean sheet, we find UC Saros coming with a save on Terry. At the 106 mark of the third period, Radko Gudas off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Again, the Nashville Predators an opportunity to get themselves at least some momentum and start generating in the right direction. Dostal comes with a save on Forsberg, and that would be it for this power play. And you've heard this one already, and I know that you're sick of it. At 3:18, fresh out of the box, Radko Gudas gets a partial breakaway, and he ends up getting his own rebound and wrapping it around and banking it in off of one of the Nashville Predators player. Again, Radko Gudas' sixth goal of the season. He's also scored against the Nashville Predators in their previous meeting of the season. So Radko Gudas out of the box, partial breakaway, and then gets his own rebound, wraps it around, banks it in off of the Predators, and in 5-0 now in favor of Anaheim. At 8:23 of the third period, it's Glass off the box. 2 minutes for hooking. UC Saros dialing in right here, coming up with a huge save on Henrique, and then UC Saros comes up with a save on Vetrano at the back post. Maybe UC Saros' best save of the entire game, one of the only saves of the game that he made. Alex Carey would end up blocking a shot, which initiated a rush. Nyquist would carry the puck through the neutral zone and then end up feeding back to Alex Carey, who would finish 5-hole for the Nashville Predators, getting the Preds on the board with the shorthanded goal. Alex Carey's second goal of the season. It's 5-1 in favor of Anaheim, but you got to pause for a second and give Alex Carey a whole lot of credit. He blocked the shot, jumped up, jumped back in the rush, and Nyquist set him up with a perfect feed, and then he finished through the 5-hole clean. 5-1 now in favor of the Ducks. 10:25 in the third period. Saros coming with a save on Vetrano, plus the follow-up by Strome. At 11:47 of the third period, it's Vetrano hitting the crossbar, trying to pick that perfect snipe that Anaheim was able to do earlier in this game. Just missed getting that goal again. 13:44 of the third period, it's Glass off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. This is Glass's second penalty of the period, which is, of course, not very good. UC Saros would come with a save on Frank Vetrano. Preds would be able to kill off that power play. After the power play, we return to 5-on-5 hockey. That's where it's 17:02 of the third period. We find Philip Tomasino getting his fifth goal of the season. Michael McCarron doing an incredible amount of hard work and bringing the jam down low, gets the puck to the low circle with just the most perfect feed. Tomasino ready for it, stick down, fires it home for his fifth of the season. Now it's a 5-2 game, but the Preds have 2 goals in this game, 2 here in the third period. This would allow the Preds to pull their netminder, UC Saros, and go with the 6-on-5 extra attacker for the remainder of the game in an attempt to have a 3-goal comeback in the final 3 minutes. At 17:27 of the third period with the extra attacker on, Dostal comes with a save on Forsberg. Preds get plenty of zone time, but not able to get a lot of shots through on traffic until 19:16 of the third period. That's where Goryanov gets his first goal of the season, first goal as a Nashville Predator. He brings the rebound jam and pokes that puck home with the 6-on-5 advantage. And for Goryanov, it was just going to the top of the crease and jamming away and jamming away. He had other teammates also assisting in the jam, and Goryanov is the one who finally gets a stick on it and pushes it past Dostal and into the net for the rebound jam goal, his first of the season, the Preds' third goal of the period. Anaheim now leads 5-3. Preds will pull UC Saros again immediately, and they will get a little bit more zone time, but nothing else happens in this one. The score ends up looking a hell of a lot more respectable than it actually was. The Anaheim Ducks come away with the 5-3 victory at Bridgestone Arena. It is the Nashville Predators out shooting Anaheim 42-33, but it is Dostal who stood tall and held strong in the large portion of the second period is when the Predators were going to get a comeback going, if they were going to get a comeback going. But then once they went down 5-0, it was nearly impossible and spent the majority of the third period trying to come back. A shorthanded goal, excellent by Carey Tomasino. Nice to see him get on the board again. Goryanov, nice to see him get his first goal of the season. But for the Nashville Predators, they came out absolutely terrible terribly flat in this game, and it was really tough to watch. The first period for this Nashville Predators team down 3-0 to a 7th place in the Pacific Division. That's why you can't look at what place they're in the division and just assume you're going to pick up the 2 points. Dallas in the last game, the Preds looked amazing against the Anaheim Ducks. They looked absolutely terrible. Now, does that mean they're going to look amazing in Dallas in the next game? Who knows? But this was a terrible, terrible performance. The score looked so much better than it actually is. 5-3 is a reasonable looking score, but you've now lost 2 games on home ice to the Anaheim Ducks, and you've only managed to generate 5 total goals in those 2 games for a team that gives up tons of goals. This performance overall, this is one of the worst the Predators have had all season long. We have so much more to talk about. We have so much breakdown analysis, the box score, and I'm going to try not to get too worked up about it because, we're here to cover it. We're here to break it down. And no matter how bad it is, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Back next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros in this game won 28 out of 33, gave up 5 goals against. The individual save percentage for this game, 8-4-8, 22 even strength saves, 5 power play saves, 1 shorthanded save, 5 goals against. Now the save percentage for the season, 8.99. The goals against average 3.09. These numbers are bad. And UC Saros has had a reputation for being a bit of a slow starter, but then things turn around and they trend in the right direction. They trend typically continuously upward till he almost wins a Vezina trophy. Right now, midway through the season, that's not happening for UC Saros. There's a problem with his game. He's given up 5 goals numerous times, and as of late, he has been especially leaky. Now, listen, the team in front of him was crap tonight, and everybody knows that, and everybody admits that, and everybody should be able to be a grown-up and accept that. The team was awful against a 7th place from the Pacific Division Anaheim Ducks team who have been just absolutely terrible as of late. The Nashville Predators did not put up any type of effort in front of UC Saros, but UC Saros himself was also not very good. 3 goals again. 3 of the 5 go in off of Nashville Predators, defenders or players around the net. So it was just another rough night for UC Saros. You got to wonder, is Lankinen going to get the start? Lankinen right now has the confidence, and I think that after winning in Dallas last weekend, I think that he possibly deserves this next start in Dallas till UC Saros can get his head straight. We'll start the second half of the season with a little bit of a goaltending conundrum. I'm not so sure it's as easy as just penning UC Saros in as the starting netminder right now until he gets his game going and gets his confidence back. Right now, the Nashville Predators have to start considering all options as we begin the second half of the season. Let's talk about Gurianov. Got the call up just 1 game ago. This is his 2nd game for the Nashville Predators. He picks up his first goal. He was noticeable in game 1. He picks up a goal in this one, generated 2 shots on goal, really going to the net hard and pokes the puck into the net when everybody was trying to find it. He was the one that got his stick on it first. You always got to give a guy credit when he scores his first goal with the team. Gurianov comes up from Milwaukee. He was red hot down there, and he was a scoring machine, and now he comes up here and he picks up his first goal as a Nashville Predator. Good job for Gurianov. Carrier, the shorthanded goal in this game, hits 2nd goal of the season, and you got to give him credit for the outstanding effort. He blocked the shot on the penalty kill, jumps up, follows Nyquist, trails the play, gets in, gets down there towards the net, and gets ready and puts the puck away. And Carrier gets the shorthanded goal in this one. That was a true 100% no half-stepping effort all the way from start to finish for Alex Carrier. Great job by him. Shorthanded goal for the Nashville Predators. You got to give the team credit when that happens. Tomasino was working incredibly hard in this game, highly engaged. 3 shots on goal and he picks up a goal. He was ready, stick down, found the good quiet spot in the face-off circle, took the feed from McCarron and cashed in on that one. Tomasino picks up that goal in this one. And again, Philip Tomasino was at least looking like he was competing out there, where so many of these Nashville Predators just seemed like they weren't really in this game. They weren't focused. They weren't dialed in. They weren't whatever words you want to use, but they weren't it. And they certainly showed in the final results in this one. So Tomasino picks up that goal and also generates 3 shots on goal. And I felt he was highly engaged this one. Michael McCarron with 2 assists in this game. You know what? 5-0. Doesn't make a difference. Gives effort every shift, every game. And there were people that scoffed at Michael McCarron being a part of this roster and even getting in the lineup earlier in the season. All Michael McCarron does is go out there and compete incredibly hard each and every shift. Picked up 2 more assists, 2 more points in this game. Michael McCarron is truly having a wonderful, wonderful season for this Nashville Predators. He was highly noticeable, and his line was the only line on the ice tonight that was consistent from start to finish in this game in a positive way. The other 3 lines were pretty consistent, all right, just not in the way that you would hope. So for Michael McCarron, stick taps to him for the 2 assists in this one, just giving the effort. And you know what? Now let's talk about Nyquist. Nyquist comments after the game, and I like to hear it. Nyquist is pissed at this point in time. We're halfway through the season, okay? And this was another bad home game. The Nashville Predators on home ice this season are now 12-11-0. We are far removed from the days of Fort Bridgestone being an impenetrable fortress for the Nashville Predators. 12-11, and Andrew Burnett has called the team out at least the last 3 home games publicly. Who knows how long he's been calling them out behind the scenes, but this was a night where the Nashville Predators, what did they get caught in the hammock? Did they caught the last game was a great win over Dallas, and the next game is back in Dallas, so this was against the lowly Anaheim Ducks on home ice, so you just assumed it was 2 points and no worries because the Preds just didn't show up in this game. It was incredibly uncharacteristic, and what they've been doing on home ice is not good, and Nyquist was absolutely pissed after the game, and he said that feeling needs to stay with his teammates and that they need to get pissed quicker and they need to stop sitting back being so passive and waiting for later in the game to make charges, make pushes, and then just fall short. Again, the score looked respectable at 5-3, but by God, the score and the way this game played out was not respectable at all. The Predators got blown out on home ice, and it was awful. It was bad, and Nyquist is pissed, and he is a veteran in the NHL, and he is letting the rest of his teammates know that he's pissed, and they should be pissed as well, and he's absolutely right about that. I was glad to see Nyquist step up as a veteran, as a first-year player. Sometimes it's hard to step up when you're a free agent, when you're new to a team, but with the Nashville Predators being so young and so in flux and so many different new moving parts coming in this year, I expect a guy like Nyquist and O'Reilly and McDonough to all step up as NHL veterans and voice their opinions and voice their concerns. That's how this team is going to grow. That's how they're going to build. And you know what? I'll close it out later on with a little bit more positivity. But this game was a really bad taste. You know, this is one just like Nyquist is pissed. I'm not going to get all worked up over it, but I was kind of pissed too because I just talked about how the Preds had maybe finally broken the Jekyll and Hyde cycle, and they're right back into it. We saw the good Preds, against the Dallas Stars, and then we saw the awful Preds at home against the Anaheim Ducks. Now, does that mean we're going to see the good Preds again against the Dallas Stars? It's hard to predict when it comes to this team. But that's going to do it for the analysis portion of this thing. I understand why Nyquist is pissed, and he's right. You should hold on to that feeling. You should carry that on. You should compete harder and be more aggressive from the starts of games and stop assuming that you're just going to pick up points against bad teams on home ice, because that's 0-2 now against the Ducks on home ice this season. All right, let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital. We'll be right back with good, cold, hard numbers under the box score right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. When it comes to goal scorers for the Nashville Predators, Dennis Gurianov picked up his first goal as a Nashville Predator. Philip Tomasino also picks up a goal. Alex Carey picks up a shorthanded goal. When it comes to assists, Michael McCarron had 2 in this game. Gus Nyquist also picked up an assist to keep his point streak going. Parson picks up an assist, and the captain, Roman Josi, picks up 1 assist in this game. When it comes to shots on goal, it was the captain, Roman Josi, leading the team with 6. Philip Forsberg had 5 in this game, and Ryan McDonough was able to generate 4 shots on net. When it comes to block shots, it was Dante Fabro with 4 in this game. You won't find anybody else over 2. Alex Carrier had 2. Also, Luke Evangelista with 2. And Cody Glass with 2 block shots in this game. When it comes to the physical element, the physical category in this game, Jeremy Lauzon led the team with 4 hits, as he typically does with each and every Nashville Predators game. Lauzon has just been bringing the power all season long when it comes to that category. 3 hits for Parson, 3 hits for Michael McCarron. Nobody else over 2 in the lineup tonight. When it comes to the time on ice leaders, only 1 forward over 20 minutes in this game was Philip Forsberg, 20:39. And then when it comes to Ryan O'Reilly, 19:26, second on the forwards of time on ice, and 19:10 for Gus Nyquist. So the first line dominates the first 3 slots in time on ice. On the defensive side of things, Roman Josi led the entire team in total time on ice at 24-27. Ryan McDonough had 21-40. In the special teams, the power play 0 for 3. 0 for 3 in this game. Sissons 3:48 in power play time on ice. O'Reilly 3:50. Nyquist 3:56. Forsberg 4:02. Preds got to get it done better than this. Roman Josi had 4:38 in power play time on ice. Again, the power play 0 for 3. The penalty kill, 2 out of 3. They gave up 1 against the penalty kill time leaders on the defensive side of things. Ryan McDonough 2:32 and Luke Shen 2:27. Cole Smith 2:39 on the forward side of things. Now, when it comes to the goaltending, UC Saros 28 out of 35. 5 goals against, 5 power play saves, 22 even strength saves, 1 shorthanded save, and an in-game save percentage of 8.48. Simply not good enough. UC Saros was not great tonight. Neither were the Nashville Predators in any part of the game. A couple other things falling out of the box score. I mentioned the power play was 0 for 3. The penalty kill was 2 for 3. The faceoff winning percentage 48.6. That's trending back up, but still, it needs to be 50% or higher. Hits 22, not bad. Blocked shots 12. That number is definitely sunk back a little bit. Takeaways 12, giveaways 16. Sloppy puck handling is what that indicates right there. But there was one thing I did want to pop out of the box score and isolate and single out. Let's see. It was Tommy Novak. Tommy Novak did not have a point in this game, but he did register 3 shots on goal, and he did register 4 takeaways, no missed shots, no giveaways, no penalties. That means Tommy Novak was performing at a pretty high level in this game, even though he didn't find his way on the score sheet. So again, just something to isolate when you notice. That's the sign of a really good performance. He was also even in the plus-minus category, even though we rarely ever talk about that particular category here on the show. That's going to do it for the box score. So listen, only thing left to do is close this thing out. And the Preds, it's another weekend. It's another measuring stick game against the Dallas Stars, and they were able to step up and measure up this last time and then come back home and just completely fall. So the game before Dallas last week was a complete failure against Calgary on home ice, and then they went to Dallas and they looked amazing and they came away with the victory, came back home, an awful, one of the most awful performances of the season against the Anaheim Ducks. And now are we going to see the good Predators again heading back into Dallas on Friday night? It's going to be a really great Central Division matchup. The Preds currently 6 points behind the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars will play on Wednesday night, so we'll have updated standings, updated numbers, updated everything in the preview segment, and that will be episode 853 when we officially release that on Thursday. So make sure you check in on that to get the latest numbers on this particular matchup coming up this weekend. Now, let's go ahead and close it out like this. First half of the season, it's over. 41 games played for the Nashville Predators, an 82-game schedule. We're already into the calendar year 2024. It's already into double-digit days of January, so it's already past the holiday season, and we're headed towards the All-Star break, and we're headed towards all of these significant things. Then it'll be trade deadline. It'll be time to talk about playoff races and scenarios and all of these types of things, but let's pause just for a second. Let's just pause for a second, okay? It's halfway through the season. The Nashville Predators are in fourth place in the Central Division. They have a record of 22-18-1. That means the Preds have a winning record. Halfway through the first season, the Nashville Predators, with a new GM, a new head coach, a whole bunch of different moving parts, and a youth movement all connected to a rebuild, the Nashville Predators find themselves with a winning record in the first half of the season of that particular rebuild. So 22-18-1 is the record, 45 points. They are currently 6 points behind an automatic qualifying playoff spot with 2 head-to-head matchups against the team directly ahead of them in the Dallas Stars, including the very next game, and they just beat the Dallas Stars. So the Nashville Predators are 6 points from an automatic qualifying playoff spot in the Central Division, but they currently hold a wild card spot in the Western Conference. Now, the Pacific Division has underperformed to a huge degree the first half of the season, but they will probably rebound and get in. But I still believe there's going to be 5 teams from the Central Division. That means that the Nashville Predators have to finish ahead of just 3 teams. Right now, the Chicago Blackhawks are easy to say are basically eliminated. The Minnesota Wild have made a coaching change and really have not moved anywhere out of 7th place after that initial bump. The St. Louis Blues have also made a coaching change and not seen a significant bump. The Arizona Coyotes, they look like they might be for real, at least through the first half of the season. As real as the Nashville Predators are, Dallas, Colorado, and Winnipeg are all for real. But for the Nashville Predators, they are currently sitting in a wild card spot halfway through the season. Their home record is not impressive, but they have a winning record on home ice. They have a winning record on the road. Their goal differential is only -1. They've competed against and beaten some of the best teams in the National Hockey League, including the New York Rangers. The first half of the season has gone so far beyond what anybody predicted or expected for this Nashville Predators team. I thought at best they could be in 5th place. Now listen, they're only 3 points ahead of 5th place, so not like I was off by a country mile, but no one out there predicted that at midway point of the first season of this rebuild that the Nashville Predators would be holding a playoff spot, have a winning record, and have metrics that are trending in a positive way. What looked like for sure one of the worst seasons in Nashville Predators history was going to be in front of us has turned out to be quite a surprise. Philip Forsberg at 45 points is 15th in the NHL and is on pace for another 40-goal season and potentially 90-plus points. He usually converts and scores more and better in the second half of the season. So if 45 points was the first half of the season, maybe we could see our first 100-point Nashville Predator. O'Reilly and Nyquist have been absolute revelations as free agents for this team. O'Reilly finding the fountain of youth for 35 points, and Nyquist coming in and putting up some of the best numbers that he has, fitting in perfectly with Philip Forsberg and a brand new first line that as of late has made the team a little top-heavy, but has performed at an incredible level so far this season. So with this Nashville Predators team, I understand the recent funk is definitely catching your nostrils, but this Nashville Predators is in a really good spot after the first half of the season. They've had some rough patches, and they've been able to climb out of it, and they've also had some pretty damn good successful runs in the first part of the season. This Nashville Predators team is surprising a lot of people. They need to just get their game back together, and it all starts in Dallas on Friday night with the first game of the second half of the regular season. For the Nashville Predators, if they can just duplicate what they did in the first half of the season, they'll find themselves in the playoffs in the first year of Andrew Burnett's head coaching tenure here with the Nashville Predators and Barry Trotz's first year as a GM. What happens with the trade deadline? What happens with some of the restricted, unrestricted free agents that will be coming up at the end of this season cycle? No idea what Barry Trotz is looking to do. In the next few weeks, we'll see how competitive the Nashville Predators are going to be leading up to the trade deadline, and we might start to get some signs of what could be happening. Teams starting to make some moves, high-end prospects starting to move around a little bit, some other players starting to relocate. Once the floodgates open, we'll see how Barry Trotz handles it, because the Nashville Predators certainly could use some better secondary scoring than they currently have, and I think that they could maybe use a little touch-up at D, because they are struggling just a little bit right there at that point. That's going to do it for Operation Number 852. Sure to appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.